Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Stiffler Manufacturing, where we turn chunks of metal into slides. There we are. So we're going to go through today and go over some collaborations that we are planning or are currently in progress with. Uh, Shout out to some people we have previously collaborated with, as well as just some channels you should probably check out if you're, and any involved in the 2A industry or just you love the Second Amendment. Give these channels a look. So start with some of those right now. Right now, big shout out to Superior Triggers. They took two of our Viper slides. They took it in graphite black and sig pink. They used an agency arms barrel. They did their own laser porting work on the barrel, and looks fantastic. It's kind of a his and hers thing. There we go. There we are. Superior Triggers. They did a great job with that barrel. Give their page a check. Wonderful work. There's a pink one there instead of stars. They did hearts. Love it. Great job with it. Yeah, they have some really awesome stuff. Give them a look whenever you get a chance. Also, shout out to Red Dawn Readiness. We're going to be doing a collaboration with them as well, also with a Viper. So we're going to be doing it with our, as he called it, a kind of mix between OCP and Woodland Camo, kind of like this style right here. So he'll be the Viper, like this one. Definitely looking forward to seeing what he does with it. And I love how it turned out. It's a great camouflage pattern. And we are also doing another variant, the OD camo, which is kind of a, it gives me a little bit of like jungle and swamp vibes. There we are. And the new one we just came out with, we're calling our winter camo. Has kind of a northern Arctic winter urban feel to it. And we already sold it. The very first one we made already sold it. As soon as we listed it, gone. Love how that turned out. Here we are, that OD camo. Our Viper in the OCP Woodland. And our new Arctic or winter camo. and that one just came out great. And we had to use 4 different kinds of Cerakote to make that happen. So we're looking at graphite black, Arctic white, battleship gray, and sniper gray. Going through the rest of that list, channels you should definitely check out. We'll have them in the description below. But check out Gog Damage. Did a great review on our SM19 Flash slide in Space War, which is a type of battle worn, distressed style of slide. And his review was great. Check out Magazine Magic and Poppy the Gun Guy. Great channels. Both have reviewed our Zooms, or no, our Hellet and our Viper. Great channels. There we go. We also have the Gun Guy who reviewed our Leonidas. So he did his in Sig Pink. So this one here is the Leonidas. And he put that on a Glock 45 frame, which was awesome. Did some videos running it. You should check his channel out. The Gun Guys with a Z also did a couple of our slides. One of them was for a charity benefit, I do believe, along with Jack of All Trades. He did also one of our flashes, one of our last battle warns that we ever did at Desert Sand. And he too, he'll actually be getting one of the camo slides as well. I believe it's going to be the Zoom. We're going to be sending him off one of those to check out, do his own build with. There we are. And I'm sure there are plenty of others that I am missing right now. I feel kind of bad about that. But we'll have them down in the description. You should check these channels out. Check out their videos. Bullseye Ben, that's another one. Give him a look. Several of these are also veterans too. Bullseye Ben, I know he's a veteran. Jack of all trades. Poppy the Gun Guy. Multiple of them are veterans, and they do a lot of good gun tubing. They go out to the range. They actually test stuff. I remember Poppy the Gun Guy did one where he's testing the optic and actually drops it. Actually drops it on the ground. Doesn't just tap it with a hammer. Did some good range testing with it. That was pretty cool. Gamage did a great review. Went into the poundage of it. Loved it. Wonderful review. And of course, we also have our, our Camus. We're doing those now. We'll have the traditional white and black camo, as well as a pink and black that people are kind of liking. And we'll probably explore more camos too. I know one that gets requested quite a bit is the Rhodesian, and I'm not sure we're going to do a Rhodesian camo. It's an interesting style of camo, but I'm not sure we're going to do that. Sometimes it's called Rhodesian brushstroke, but very interesting style of camo. Actually, I'll just pull that up. And Rhodesian, kind of like a grass camo. It gets requested quite a bit. Maybe we'll do it someday. It's the brushstroke part that seems like it's going to be the most difficult, but maybe we can make it work. Maybe we'll try this someday. It's an interesting camo. There we go. All right, yeah, we've got everybody listed. Yeah, just a real short stream, real short live. So we are going to be doing a few of these, and I did just get back from the shop today, and our first batch of 17s is done. We have them out in graphite black, and they're already spoken for. They're already being sold. So we will get them to the website as soon as this batch is over, and people will be able to then check them out on our website. They'll start seeing them on our eBay. But we got to get through this first batch that's already flamed. Hey, not a sponsor. How's it going? Talking a little bit about our 17s again. We've got the first batch ready. We've got about 100 slides ready to go, but they are already spoken for. They've already been bought. So it's going to be a little bit longer until they reach the website. But once we're done with this batch, we'll start posting them on our website as well. For your M&P, that's actually on the list as a potential. As to not whether or not we do M&P or we do a SIG after we get done with Glock, because once we get done with this 17, we're going to probably do the 43 and maybe the 26, and after that we'll probably branch out to additional models. Yeah, or get a Glock, get yourself an OEM, or whenever Paul PSA is doing one of those sales, you can get one of their frames for $40. Barrels, we are going to procure some barrels through ELD. But at this time, we are probably, and I'm not even sure anytime in the near future if we will be doing barrels ourselves. Right now, we're going to procure some barrels, though. They will be available on our website at some point. And we'll be doing those for the 19 and for the 17. We also plan to have ported barrels as well as standard. And the only thing that has an issue is we cannot do threaded barrels on eBay. eBay will not let you have threaded barrels. So we will, if we do get them, they will be on our website and on our website only. Also talking about some collaborations we're going to do. Red Dawn Readiness is going to do one with one of our Vipers in Camo. Jack of all trades, and we'll have these. We'll have them linked in our description for the live. But Jack of all trades is going to do a camo of one of our zooms. Actually, let me pull this back up now that you're here. We'll go to Superior Triggers. Story no longer available. There we are. Okay, so this is them doing laser porting on an agency arms barrel, I believe it is, and that's our slide that's around it. That's our graphite black Viper, and so they are doing star porting into the barrels. And it looks like it's affecting the slide, right? But it's not. That actually just wipes down. And there's the finished product. So they're going to do completes with that. And there's the pink one of our Sig Pink Viper. And they did that with a hearted barrel, a hearted porting barrel, which looks pretty awesome. They kind of did a his and hers thing. But as a company, they sell trigger kits that they make up themselves. And, if you get a chance, check them out. And there's a few others as well. Glad they test one. If I couldn't even get anyone else to test our stuff because the employees that we do have and a couple shop volunteers, uh, we have to go out and test the slide this week. Actually, one of our customers, they're having an issue with their build, and so they can't figure it out, and we weren't able to troubleshoot it online or over the phone. So they sent the slide back to us, and we are going to put an SCT parts kit in it or an OEM parts kit, one or the other. We're going to slap a barrel in it. We're going to take it to the range and shoot the crap out of it. And we're going to see, okay, was this an issue on our end? Which, if it is, happy to fix it. Perfectly happy to fix it. If it's not, like on our last live, we talked about people figuring out their issues. We'll have to figure it out. Is like, for example, we had, and I think I spoke about this on the last live. We had one customer who put their EDP rod in backwards and could not for the life of them figure out what was wrong. They sent it back to us. We figured it out like that. And we went and range tested it for them, and they didn't want it back afterwards, so we ended up doing a refund. But I still have that slide, and it still works, and it still runs beautifully. Because once we've gone through that process, we're not going to resell them. I don't think. Maybe we could sell them off to somebody who's into used slides. But we don't really want to do that. Want people to get brand new slides every time. Actually, let's go back to that Instagram. Go through a few of ours. Uh, Red Dawn's talking to us. Oh, the tiny dog. It protects us from absolutely nothing. It just barks at everything. It's a great alarm dog. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, we're finally starting back up our collaborations again. Filthy handguns? Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, yes, we do. Very, very much so. Yeah. We get them kind of grimy, beaten up. For example, there was one, and we had to ask, "Hey, okay, so we get you're having a problem with the slide. We get you're having a problem with whether it's UPK or whatever the issue is." And I gotta ask, man, when you sent the slide back, why does it look like you beat on something with it, like you used it like a hammer? They're like, "Oh, well, that's just how you sent it to us." What? No. What the? Mike, the woman in charge of our QC, who heads our entire quality control department, is so anal retentive about slides that the only time I've ever seen a mistake go out is when she took a day off, and she is so good about it that where we look at a slide, we go, okay, yeah, this looks great, this looks great, and she'll be like, no, no, nope, nope, this tiny little thing right here, and we're like, I can't even see. What are you talking about? And she's like, yep, there it is. There's a tiny little scratch, something none of us ever saw. She'll see it. So this guy trying to say like, oh yeah, you sent us a slide that looks like we beat on it. Yeah, that's complete total BS. But some returns, you get what you get. Some customers. What can I say? But yeah, we definitely get some dirty ones sometimes. They did not clean it beforehand. Um, some of it looked like there was like some gritty sand in it. Like they were going outside and shooting it, they dropped it on the ground. Like maybe it was just kind of wherever they were, it looked like there was some grit in there. Which I mean, when you get a ported barrel or a ported slide, rather, you know, that's a hazard you risk, especially if you drop it. And that's kind of what it looks like what they did. We definitely appreciate the ones who do clean them. It makes our job a little easier because if it's just too dirty, we can't take it to the range like that. We'll have to clean it, put some oil on it, then we'll take it to the range. And so far, with the exception of one slide, and that is where they forced parts into it that did not belong into it, we have been able to fix or make fire every single slide that someone's had an issue with when they returned it to us. And it's kind of like what we were talking about yesterday, is where some people have just gotten into building and no one's taught them what to do, and they didn't understand the instructions they saw online, and it's really easy to screw it up, very easy until you have some experience in it. And they did. And in traditional, what I'll call, I guess, American fashion, is we've spent 50 years or more telling people if you complain and moan and whine enough that corporate America will fix the issue for you because they'd rather kiss your ass and to make you happy than actually fix what the problem is. And I think that's something we need to address as a society. I'm more than happy to spend a lot of time helping customers and trying to help people troubleshoot. And we do that for people. Hey, did you try this? Hey, have you done that? Uh, but there is some stuff they've got to work through themselves. And the American customer does not like to be told that they did something wrong. And that's not just with guns. That's with everything. It doesn't matter what the industry is. It could be cars. It could be tools. It could be sandwiches. It doesn't matter. The customer does not like being told they're wrong. You've got to balance that with, especially when you're doing something like this, where you're building something yourself, and then you're going to go to the range and you're going to put a tiny explosive in it, and you're going to send metal down range, right? It is a learning curve for some people, and some people cannot handle that they did something wrong. And it's perfectly fine that you did something wrong. It's part of the learning process. The first build I ever did was a P80. Oh yeah, yeah, I screwed that up. We made it work, but I screwed that thing completely up. And some people, they can't handle being told or pointed out, hey, you did this. Have you tried this? They just can't handle that critiquing, unfortunately. Which tells me they've got some growing to do, hopefully, before they start carrying firearms out in public. But I'd love to think most people who are going around carrying in public are level-headed, but we know that's not always the case. But let's see, who else are we doing? We're doing Red Dawn Readiness. We're gonna do a Viper slide with him. Uh, got Gamage. We did a flash slide with him, which I believe, yeah, it was a Space Worn. So this slide here. We just did Superior Triggers. He did two Vipers. We're gonna do Jack of all trades. He did a flash originally, one of our last battle warns that we ever made. We put battle warn on hiatus. People just didn't seem as interested at the time. And after that, we did a Leonidas slide with him in graphite black, and that was for, if I remember correctly, that was for a charity thing for cancer. And so a lot of the proceeds to that went to a charity, which we were happy to be a part of. And people got to see our slide, but the money went to a good cause. And we did the gun guys; they did something like that too. I think, yeah, they also did one of our last periwinkle slides in the SM19 Flash. And then recently they did a Hellet in Green Mamba, and I believe that was also part of that same charity situation. Oh yeah, yeah, and that's a thing we've experienced. I will say this: the vast majority of our customers, awesome people, great people, wonderful to talk to, wonderful to have just conversations with about their build. They love showing their builds off to us. Some of them are like, "Hey, can you please put this on any of your social media?" They're very proud of their builds, and they're great to work with. It's any complaining I do, it is the 1% of customers that have caused an issue. The rest are absolutely amazing people, and they're eager to, even if they're new, they're eager to learn something. They're trying. They understand there's going to be some trial and error. They understand that there's going to be some failures, and they're going to learn from that. It's just that 1% group that they can't handle criticism, and they can't handle that maybe they did something wrong, or maybe they need to do a little bit more work. Because unless you're slapping our slide on an OEM Glock, you might need to do a little bit of extra work. We've gotten some Palmetto State Armory frames where we've had to take a burr off and polish the rails. And if you're doing something more complex like a polymer 80 style, 80%, or if you're doing a 76%, you're going to have to move a lot slower. You're going to have to be real careful, have a lot of attention to detail, because I mean, you can go all over Reddit, where people have had to bond their frames back together because they dremeled it too much or drilled it in the wrong spot, or you know, and everyone brand new to this, you're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen unless you grew up around firearms a lot, and even then, you didn't grow up building firearms. You didn't grow up modifying your Glock, swapping things out. People are gonna make mistakes, especially if you end up choosing crappier parts kits and things like that. I think we touched on it yesterday. There was a whole series of recoil spring assemblies and firing pins that were going around out of China that were just absolutely garbage. And people tried to blame the frame. They tried to blame the slide. They tried to, oh God, the dog. It's a cute little dog. It just does not protect the damn thing. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, Red Dawn's great. Yeah, I love going to talk on his lives. Love checking him out. We probably going to also do something with DLD After Dark. We do have we've given a discount to his channel, so for his followers. So check him out, and we might also do something with Flying Rich, and also possibly with John Crump. That's also possibly in the future. So we're going to have those guys. We'll have them tagged down below for if you haven't checked out their channels already. Trying to think of who else we're doing something with recently. I think I've covered almost everybody. Future collaborations, if you guys are part of a business or if you're a gun tuber, we'll consider just about any collaboration. We had to put a pause on them for a little while, which we were in a lot of communication with our, Red Dawn. He's tracking everything. We had to focus on the 17s, and we had to focus on the SM19 Turbo, because we had a lot of bills to pay, and so when you got bills to pay and when you've got distributors to make happy and you've got vendors to make happy, collaborations go on the back burner. So it's not that people didn't hear back from us in a timely manner. Definitely reach out to us again and tell us, hey, what's your idea? What do you want to do? Do you want to do range videos? Do you want to do build videos? Maybe you do your own custom laser work. Maybe you do your own additional Cerakote work and you want to do something. Yeah, reach out to us. And worst we're gonna say is no. Ad kicking it. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I ramble a bit too. I get off track. I should probably have like a script or something to keep myself focused. But I like to keep it just kind of loose, and people can ask whatever questions they want to ask and comment on whatever they want to comment. Hopefully, I have something cool I can show them on standby. Right now, all the slides. I wish I had some more on me. Like the camos, I have to show them via our website, because we sold them all. So I wish I had some with me to show off, but we're also doing these new camos. That this one here will go to Jack of all trades. He'll be doing something with it for his build, so you should definitely check his out. And then not the same one. Here is another style that we're doing. It kind of reminds me of like a jungle swamp aesthetic. And then the one Red Dawn's going to be doing is this Viper here. Though the way these get made, they're never exactly the same. So that's kind of cool about it. And almost all of our specialty slides are like that. Is that whatever style we end up doing, is they don't look exactly the same. Almost no two is going to look exactly the same. So they'll be a little unique. and you can stack them up next to each other, and just there's going to be differences, and I kind of like that. Your slide's unique to you. And this one we just put on the website, and we just sold out of the ones that we made. So they're all, they're all pre-order. They will be made to order, but it's our new winter camo, and it gives off that kind of like Arctic urban vibe. The one that's in this photo, we literally sold, it was up for 10 minutes and we sold it. So super happy with that. Got to communicate, got to talk with the guy who bought it. Great guy. Love how this turned out. Hey Kurt, how's it going? For us, for what we sell, like if we're doing our completes, it's just Glock OEM. Um, but I haven't explored too much beyond that because usually I'll throw a Hollow Sun or a Gideon Optics on there. I really like that Gideon Omega, that red dot that they have, and just having some crappy. I should probably get like some nitride sights or something, so to glow in the dark. Yeah, I've thought about changing it up a little bit, and I'll definitely have to, because I'll need to use some sort of streaming platform for Rumble, and I'd love to be able to just pull up complete builds on here, and I can't do that on YouTube. So we'll have to set that up for Rumble, and if we do, I might end up doing that. It would be cool to have the lives of the short feeds. Yes, and if you've ever seen FE Ordnance, he gets a lot of idiots. Um, some of them foreigners, like I think he had some French people in there the other day. Other people from other countries who are just like, "Oh my God, are those real? Is that safe? Are those airsoft?" And he's just got his weapons collection right there, or at least part of it, for the live. And of course, it's on YouTube, so we can't touch a single one of them. I think they've even given him restrictions for his dog walks in on camera. Are those airsoft? Yeah, it's. I've seen the dumb people he gets on there, and it's just freaking funny. And I know he gets some people who harass him, purposefully report him and whatnot. I'm sure as we get a little more popular, we'll probably get the same kind of people as we start doing more and more lives. I'm sure someone will say one day, "Oh, he held up a full gun. Report me to YouTube." It's just a chunk of metal. There's not even a parts kit in it. Legal in all 50 states and the territories, with exception to American Samoa. We're not shipping there anymore. Or actually, I don't think we've ever sold one to American Samoa, but we're cutting them off. Honestly, I'd like to see John Crump do like a whole review on the territories sometime. But digging into it, they have some anti-gun tendencies, anti-gun laws. Their stance, if I understand everything correctly, is that territories are not states, and therefore the Constitution does not apply to them, even if they are American citizens. So, no, you can't have guns by and large in American Samoa. And if I remember right, they allow them to have 22 rifles, but not pistols, 410 shotguns, and one other cartridge. I forget which one it is, but basically 22 and 410 and something else. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And it kind of goes into that whole like taxation without representation thing. Like Puerto Rico, we sell slides to Puerto Rico all the time, but they don't have an issue with it. It's perfectly legal there, and but they don't have the right to vote on the presidency. They're not a state, right? But they've accepted that they have constitutional rights, and it seems like American Samoa has. decided they don't have some of those rights because they're not an accepted state. And there's no big state movement in American Samoa like there is in Puerto Rico. But we can also ship to Guam, and we've shipped to Guam as well. And I want to say we may have shipped to the Virgin Islands. I'd have to pull up our sales sheets, but yeah, protection of the USA, but not the rights of the Constitution is essentially what they're arguing there. And so, just to be sure that we don't have to deal with any BS, we're just taking them off the list just in case. But the shipping there isn't going to be cheap either, because you're looking at a 9-10 ounce chunk of metal plus whatever else being shipped into the ocean. The shipping for that's not so cheap. In the U.S., it's anywhere from $4 to $8, somewhere around there, depending on which state, how far away you are from us. Usually around $4 to $5. Anytime we ship to Puerto Rico, it ends up being like $10 or $15 for the customer, which is just annoying. But they're a lot further out. You've got to go across water, so it is what it is. Not sure what I'm gonna do with this damn thing. I think I showed this off yesterday. Yeah, I did. I showed this off yesterday. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm glad we were able to help the guy out. Might just have it sit on a wall. That too. I don't remember if you were there for that yesterday. Not a sponsor, but if you know anyone with a busted slide, have them reach out to us, and we might do a swap. So for this one, we sent them. You see how it's kind of jacked up there. We sent them one of our SM19 Zooms in return, and we'll try and do something equivalent. Like if they have a ported slide, we'll send them a ported slide. You know, once we receive this and do some eval on it. And part of it's just a learning process. Like when we got our first rock slide, that we swapped out for somebody, it was just like learning. Like, how did this crack? Why did this happen? So seeing something broken is just you don't unless you're doing it purposefully or you're doing something negligently. Oh, the extractor area. Yeah, it's a bit marred up. I don't know if it shows too well on the camera, but uh, they got it stuck in there, and it looks like they tried to pry it out or force it out, and it did not go well. And so it rendered the slide non-usable. I'm not even sure we can get this out of here. Maybe we could. I don't know. Maybe we could tap it. Maybe, but it's all jammed up there. It's marred up pretty bad on the inside. So I doubt we could make it work again. But it's just more so that we have the knowledge that okay, this happened. Why did it happen? This broke. Why did it break? And was it steel quality? Was it whatever? Yeah, in gunsmithing at Sonoran Desert Institute. Oh yeah, no doubt. Anything getting shipped over there, it's just because they're an island. But and I think I showed, yeah, I showed that cracked slide. You can find it on Reddit. Not the same one that we replaced. We actually tried to replace this guy's, but then we ended up getting banned on Reddit, and so we lost contact with him, unfortunately. Of course, at this point, a lot of people are going to say, "Well, hey, it's your own fault for buying a rock slide." But goddamn, look at that crack. That is just god awful. And we wanted to replace this slide with one of our Leonidas slides, so like one of these, and we lost contact with the guy because we got banned. So I don't know if you ever got it replaced or not, or if you ever, whatever happened with it. That sucks. And that's the whole point of it. Get people back to the range, you know. Yeah, I've you know I've seen guns break. I've seen that happen. I had a 12 gauge shotgun. I'm struggling to remember the name and model of, but it was from the 1930s, and I picked it up real cheap. And everything cycled properly. Going through doing functions checks, everything cycles properly. What I did not catch in my inspection was that the firing pin, when you pump the action forward, protrudes just slightly. And so when we took it to the range, loaded in some 12 gauge birdshot, figured let's do something light. We're just going to test it. So that firing pin popped the primer while the breech was partially open. So I hadn't had the action fully forward yet. And it blew off the trigger guard. It sent burned and unburned powder back into my face. And I blew some other parts over there off of there from the breech. I hit the target though, and I kept that weapon pointed down range and until I could have a friend who's right next to me clear me, make sure I'm good, because I had a bunch of powder in my face. And despite eye pro and everything, like, hey man, check my eyes, am I good? Like sometimes just shit happens, right? And I've seen videos where Glocks have failed. Like a weapon will fail eventually. Nothing's perfect, and some people have this perception that because it was made by Glock or because it was made by Smith and Wesson or because it was made by Colt, because it was made by a big name manufacturer, that gun will last forever. And there's cases of this, like if you look at Colt, there's Colt all the way back to the mid 1800s that survived today. I guarantee you put some of those modern rounds through it though, you're gonna break that fucking Colt. If you take care of it, yeah, it'll last, but there's always that chance. Maybe the metal you got wasn't up to snuff, and that's the thing. Like we're not our own manufacturer of metal. We can't make the steel. We buy this steel. I don't have my own forge where I'm just making this stuff. So if there's some, and that's something people don't understand either, is the whole logistics of everything. Somewhere along the chain, something could happen. If one thing gets messed up during this whole chain, the end result could be something breaks. So maybe the steel wasn't hardened correctly. Maybe we got a bad batch, and we don't know that until someone's put their freaking 2000th round through it, and all of a sudden it cracks. Which is why we tell people, hey, inspect your stuff. Hey, go to the range, shoot your gun. If something happens, we'll fix it. We'll make sure we take care of you. But there's always, and is it a high chance that something like that happens? No, no, it's very low. But I've seen videos where people are shooting Glock, and all of a sudden the Glock slide cracked, and it's probably that same similar scenario, right? Maybe the metal that they procured, there was just some sort of flaw, and the freaking slide cracked. But people treat it like they're like, oh hey, it's a big name manufacturer, nothing can fail. Anything manufactured can fail. Yeah, yeah, like you said right there, anything can fail. Stiffler forge. I don't know, maybe someday. Thinking about doing some laser work at some point. I don't know if we want to do a forge though. God, the amount of people we'd have to hire. That would be kind of cool. A big thing that there's not enough of is heat treatment plants. There is such a backlog of heat treating going on for metal, not just for like gun slides and stuff, but just metal in general. We've talked to a few of the people that do that stuff, and there's a huge backlog. Companies are waiting 8 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks to get their stuff heat treated because there's just not enough plants apparently, and that's just kind of wild. That people are like, hey, why is there this delay? And it's people are waiting on heat treatment, which is just nuts. Yeah, which is one of the reasons we go with the steel that we do. We know that once this steel is cut, we're good. 17.4, we don't have to worry about it. We mill it, coat it, done. We don't have to send anything off to be heat treated. And I love that. I love that we don't have to heat treat anything. The amount of time we'd have to wait. 'Cause that's a big. It took us a lot of trial and error, a lot of learning, a lot of studying to get the times that we're doing now. We're producing at a fairly quick rate, and maybe we could improve it. But compared to some of our competitors, we're improving things so quickly in this 2 year, 2.5 year period. I'm really impressed with how not to toot my own horn too much, but I'm really impressed with how much we have learned and just improved in this 2.5 years. And I know people have said, "Oh, hey, you're kind of slow. Why haven't you made a 17 yet? Why haven't you made a 34? Why haven't you made a 26? Why haven't you made SIG?" And there's a reason we're being slow is we're still learning. You know, we want to make sure things are right. We've talked with some of our peers and some of our competitors, and a complaint that we found was common with quite a few of them was that they moved too fast and they were chasing things. Funny enough, at the request of the customer, right? Which is funny. You want to supply things for your customer, but the customer makes a request, not knowing all the processes that you have to go through to make that thing happen. So sometimes chasing the thing that they want kind of undoes you a bit, makes things come undone. And we saw that with, yeah, going too fast with development. And we saw that with a few of our competitors and peers where they moved too quickly. There wasn't enough testing. And the quality of the product suffered. And or in the case of where they did everything right, not enough people bought what they just invested into. So like I remember one of our steel shipments cost, what was it, like 14 and a half thousand dollars. Now imagine that, right? Imagine you buy 14 grand of this bar and you turn it into, I don't know, Glock 42s, and then nobody buys them. And you made, a couple hundred Glock 42s and they're just sitting there. So all that money, all that investment gone. And if you're lucky, maybe you can sell it on eBay and get a little bit of your money back, a little bit at a time. And maybe you get really unlucky and none of them sell. Like a big request we get is Glock 34s. When are we going to make those? I know some people want them. I know some people who do competition shooting and building want them. Are they going to order enough for us to make it worth it? And so it's something we might explore. Maybe we'll get a small batch of steel. We'll make a short run of them, and if they sell out, then we'll do some more. And if that sells out again, we'll do some more. But we knew for a fact the 19 was going to sell. It's one of the most popular guns in America. It's in the top 10 still. And the 17, now that we have it, we know it's going to sell. So what's the next step? What still sells? What do gun owners want? Well, 43 and the 26 are the next two biggest that we keep getting requests for. So that's probably what we're going to go with. And after that, I don't know. Maybe we'll do something with M&P, or maybe we'll do something with SIG. I know there's that controversy right now with the P320/M17, and kind of waiting to see how that turns out. But even then, maybe we might still do it anyway. It's still a very popular sidearm, so maybe we will do something, and maybe it'll become popular. Yeah, we could probably do that. I don't want to do it for stuff that we're not close to making yet, though, because we thought about doing that for the 17, and it got delayed and delayed and delayed because we had to focus on other stuff. I don't want customers get stuck in like this endless loop of pre-order where, like, sadly what happened with Polymer 80, where they just kept getting screwed over in lawsuit after lawsuit, and all their pre-orders ended up funding their legal fight. And I don't want that to be the case for us, where we invest in it and we invest in it, it gets delayed, and customers are waiting for a year. I want to make sure we're like right on the cusp, like that winter Arctic slide I showed. We were on the cusp of making it, and someone, boom. Oh, a log of it. Okay, okay. I wonder if we can set our website up with that. To be honest, we really need to work on redesigning our site a bit. The current one that we have is not optimal. It works and it's great to allow gun sales. There are some that do not. They absolutely do not. And we've reached out to other sites where it's like, hey, can we build a website? And they're like, oh, you sell gun parts? No, no, you can't. Same thing with some like banks. Oh, you sell gun stuff? No, no, we will not issue you a line of credit. But for what it is, it works. It's just we'll have to play with it on fixing this front page a bit for when we add the 17s. Oh, they didn't tell me they put this on here. Frickin' production side. This is our Lightning, and they did it in graphite black as the background and shimmer aluminum, which is kind of a silvery steel. And they made that the Lightning, and that is awesome. I didn't know they put that on the site yet. We have to give them some crap. There we go. Look at that. That is cool. And there's another one I think is cool, right? Like, I have this periwinkle that I like personally. Customers didn't like it so much. They didn't really sell, unfortunately. Kind of like our what was it called? Bazooka Pink, Bubblegum Pink. Didn't sell. It took us a year to get rid of them all because we had pre-painted quite a few of them, and it took us a year to get rid of them. Okay. Hmm. Screenshot that for later. We used to gauge interest through a lot of Facebook groups and Reddit, and that helped us out quite a bit early on until we started getting restricted on Facebook. Facebook actually, funny enough, still threatens us with losing our page forever if we don't fix things. And the funny thing is, this post is from 7 months ago. It was on the Marine Corps birthday in November. We were wishing the Marine Corps a happy birthday, and hey, you're military. We do a military discount. And ever since then, and of course they've harassed us before then too, but ever since then, Facebook and Meta have hounded us about this one post. And you have to maintain professionalism with the people that can take away your whole account. But God, do I just want to unload on them sometimes? With, man, what do you just fucking hate the Marine Corps? Like, you hate the Constitution? You really hate it that much that you post wishing them a happy birthday and offering them a discount on our products? That really sets you off that badly? And every now and then we do a post on it because partly it's amusing. If you look at the rules for Meta and for Facebook, it's they allow gun stores, they allow people with a physical brick and mortar shop, which we do. We have a physical machine shop with an address. We're a licensed LLC, and we're registered in the state of Arizona. And before that, we were briefly registered in Florida, so legitimate business. And also, or if you have a retail website, which we do, and per their rules, because we have the physical location and the retail website, or rather, and or you don't have to have both, but we do have both that we can post about our product, which is gun parts. But it seems their moderators and their administrators either are unaware of their own rules or they are purposely just not enforcing that part of it. Where they're like, "Oh no, you're a regular page. You're not supposed to post about these things." And it's like, "No, no, no. We're a business page. That's why we're part of the Meta Business Suite. We filled out all that information." So I could believe either one. I could believe that it's just stupid Facebook employees who don't know what they're doing, or I could believe it's vindictive Facebook employees who hate the Second Amendment, the Constitution, the military, whatever. So I could believe either or. And we eventually went out on appeals most of the time, and they have not harassed us for anything new, especially once we started doing our disclaimers, which I'll pull one of those up. That's just good information to have for anyone who's posting gun stuff if you're using any meta platform. Hey, we got some new followers. That's awesome. Could use some more though. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so notice to Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Meta, we do not sell firearms. Stiffler Manufacturing LLC is a veteran-owned business registered in the state of Arizona that has a physical brick-and-mortar workshop and online retail store. We sell lawful products that are not restricted by any federal law. Yeah, they have not hounded us since we put that disclaimer up. And like RTT Guns and Gear also has disclaimers throughout his video. Like I should probably say something right. What did he say in his video? The only reason he's talking about prices is to inform his viewers. He is not selling anything. That was he said something to that effect. And he said, he has to say that, otherwise YouTube will come after him. And it's astounding that you have to do that disclaimer that people can't put two and two together. That a gun tuber is talking about a product, but is also not selling said product. It's just ridiculous how many disclaimers that you have to do for all kinds of little things. Like we have to say we are not an FFL. We do not sell firearms. All of our products are legal in all 50 states and most of the territories. I'm actually not even sure the slides are illegal in American Samoa. We just don't really want to risk dealing with it because they are so of the opinion that the Constitution doesn't apply because they're not a state. At least in regards to the Second Amendment. They don't have to recognize the Second Amendment because they're not a state yet, if they ever want to become one. Yeah, if you get a Glock or if you just get a PSA, those are like 40, 50 bucks. Give them a go. Have a good one. Let's see. We've been doing this for almost an hour. Yeah, that's probably where we'll cut it. Unless anybody else has any other questions. No, no questions. All right, that's where we'll cut it. Stay 2A every day.